thank you, Mr. Gee, for joining us today over the podcast of Humans of Globe. It's a pleasure to have you on a podcast, especially after you have been featured in the Humans of Globe magazine. Your journey as a visionary leader into the energy, infrastructure, and transportation environment sectors is truly inspiring. So today we want to go beyond what we have covered in the article. It's more on your personal reflections, your leadership stories, and the challenges that you have faced behind the scenes. So let's dive in. Welcome again, Mr. Gee. Welcome to the podcast.
Okay,
Uh, let's
thank you.
let's dive in directly. Like, how did it feel when you were featured in Humans of Globe? What was your first reaction?
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Anand, and thank you for having me and for your interest in our work. To answer your first set of questions, I would say that I was pleasantly surprised to get recognition from a renowned international magazine like Humans of Globe, and it's an
Yes.
honor to be featured in Humans of Globe.
Great, great. Thanks for the expression you had when you got this opportunity. Uh, did this article make you reflect on any of your like journey when you were going through it in a very new way?
Okay. I have so far only dealt with local and regional press, and this new interview. I'm hoping not only to extend our opportunities and engage in new discussions, but also to bring a better insight of the Malagasy business environment to the readers.
Right, right. Of course, people often see the success that you have built in during your journey, but they don't see the struggles. So, what's a challenge that you have faced as a leader during this journey? What was any of the challenges?
Okay. The outside world only sees the results, indeed, and the struggles are often
Right.
experienced backstage, even though they are part of our daily work. We face challenges such as tough competition, financial resources, mobilization, administrative issues, and so on, which can be stressful on the whole team, but it is part of the process, and we learn to deal with it.
Right, right. So, like you have a long journey as an consultant. So, any pivotal moment that changed your perspective and how you take decisions?
Yeah. Yes, GLW International was initially founded by three shareholders, including myself, and we used to run the activities together. Years later, I took over the company, and that has changed the whole organization and the management strategies and the way I make decisions.
Right, right. Of course, you like there are many decisions as you have taken it over, as in at the management level. Then, how do you manage the tension between long-term vision and the immediate practical challenges that come in the business? How do you tackle that tension?
Like I mentioned earlier, we face various difficulties on a daily basis. But in order to be able to keep long-term vision despite the issues here and there, I have regular meetings with my team so that we can follow up together on project and split efficiently the work between everyone, depending on the area of expertise needed, so that I can focus on business strategy myself.
Very true. When you are connected with teams, right, you have your own team who is working on things. When you are working on the ground, uh, like, is there any leadership lesson that you have learned through the failures or unexpected folds during the business? Any leadership lesson through the failures on the ground?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the main takeaway I learned from all these years is that failure is not permanent, and
True.
it can even be turned into a new potential success by navigating through the alternatives it brings and the lessons to learn to avoid making the same mistakes again. Just like the quote says, when a door closes, a window opens.
Window opens. Correct, correct. Right.
Yeah.
So you just have to get out, even it's a door or a window. It doesn't matter. Right. Lots of challenges must be there during the whole part, right? What keeps you motivated during the day? Like, what is it which keeps Mr. Gee motivated during his whole journey of leadership, along with managing the whole team in the business? What keeps you motivated, sir?
Yeah, yeah. Every morning upon waking up, one of my first thoughts is to ask myself, what issues I will have to address today? Once my
True.
mind is ready to accept that there will be setbacks, I'm automatically feeling positive that there will always be answers to problems, and it makes me less worried to face them.
Right, right. Of course, when you have, your set of questions ready for yourself, then you are having a clear thought process. Though you are in Madagascar, right? So how have your local communities supported you in the journey of sustainability? The local community around you, have they empowered and given your support through this journey, wherein you are walking today towards a sustainable business and towards sustainability?
Okay, okay. Madagascar is a unique jewel, and us Malagasy people should be the first to feel concerned about its conservation.
True.
Unfortunately, it's not always the case, and local communities struggle to preserve the island's valuable resources. And it's important that, as local businesses, we should prioritize sustainable development over political, economic, and technical aspects.
Which is very true. Like, all the aspects have to be taken care of when you are in a, business which is towards energy and sustainability. Uh, like me being a, person who is very much away from this sector and is in some other sector of the world or in some other part of the world, what people have misunderstood as such, as in Madagascar's landscape towards sustainability? What is the misunderstanding that people generally carry?
Yeah, good question. Uh, and from my many years of doing business in Madagascar with foreign companies, I've noticed that it was difficult for them to understand the Mura lifestyle, which translates as doing things slower than from being islanders, which is
Uh-huh.
obviously understandable in many cases, but not always. But also the
Mm.
fact we are a unique mix of both African and Asian cultures and origins makes it hard for outsiders to understand our way of thinking.
Okay. Mura Mura. Right. So
Mura
it's
mura.
correct, correct. So true, it's in the roots because you are in the island. So from African perspective, like what African and you mentioned, right? It's you have a mix of two traits. So from African perspective, what does the African entrepreneurs needs to keep in mind for going forward in their entrepreneurship journey? What is your advice to the African entrepreneurs as such?
Yeah. You know what? We have noticed that there is a new generation of leaders emerging in many African countries where some have received 100% local education, while others are from the diaspora. I don't believe
Mhm.
there is a unique path to success, but it is just important that the young generation finds a way to preserve their culture and tradition while also taking into account the global realities.
True, true. The world is coming closer by the way of internet. They are connecting. So it is very true that they need to think global as such from the whole business perspective. So I'm more now interested to know, Mr. Gee, any untold experience that you have not shared with anyone before during this journey that you would like to share today, if anything's there, any
Okay,
experience.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm, sorry, I have nothing in mind right now. Yeah,
Any
sure.
experience
There are
during
some stories I can surely share, but it does not come to mind right now.
No, so of course, when we talk about it, there are of course many things that we have gone through, but at this moment we are just unaware which one to tell about. And from the long journey and from the kind of experience that you hold, I'm sure you must have had many business experiences and stories to share probably next time someday.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, like. Uh, what is the definition of success for you from the kind of background that you come from and you have evolved around the years? What is the definition of success that you would put forward?
Okay, okay. I think during my journey in business, I can say that when I was younger, I used to think that success was mainly based on financial performance. But over time, I realized that it was not just about that. It is also very important to take into account any projects, human and social outcomes.
Right. It's not only the financial performance. And exactly, you are working in the sustainability sector. So looking at finance can become a second priority rather looking at the social impacts of your work. So very true about that. So other than GLW International, any other project that you are working upon, like other in addition to GLW International, another project, another area?
Okay, okay. I will surprise you. My next dream project outside of work would be to spend more time in the outdoors, traveling overseas, but also cooking more since I initially studied chemistry and find great pleasure in creating chemical reaction while using ingredients in the kitchen. I'm actually renovating my kitchen and at the moment, since it is becoming a leisure space in the house, uh, I would say too, I want to have more time to play piano.
Oh, wow. Personal hobbies carry a very like different aura to a person. So one point you have a business ongoing as in your professional life, and you have your personal set of hobbies that you want to carry. But I'm very excited to hear that you are renovating your kitchen and doing some chemical experiments. It's a fun thing to hear. Uh, from the journey coming to a part, Mr. Gee, if you want to define leadership in 3 words, what would it be? Like leadership in 3 words.
Yeah. In whole humility, I think it would be best for the people around me to answer that rather than myself.
No, yeah, kind enough to get that answer from you, Mr. Gee. And that's a quality of all the leaders. They would never take it upon them. They will always say that they have more to learn. There are people who are having more experiences with than themselves. So it was great having you today, Mr. Gee, on the podcast and understanding more about you, understanding about the journey, how have you come into the sustainability business? And we would like to hear more stories when we meet up someday in person. I would be happy to come to Madagascar someday and see what have you done from the kitchen perspective.
Okay.
And
It will be
yes,
a
yes.
great pleasure for me to host you in Madagascar when you plan to come.
Sure. I really look forward to come there. I haven't been to Madagascar as such, but I'm really inspired by the sustainability side, what you are doing, the consultancy part of the whole business, wherein you empower more business owners and more businesses across the globe through your consultancy. And we are glad to have you with us on the journey of celebrating successful leaders on the Humans of Globe magazine and podcast. I would be signing off for today, but would be surely happy to meet you someday again and talk to you back, Mr. Gee. Thank you so much for giving your time today.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time too.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone who is watching this podcast today. If you like this podcast, if you are learning from this podcast, we would be coming up with more series like this. Do follow, subscribe, and share with all your fellow entrepreneurs. and see you over the next time. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.